everybody. Thanks for joining us on the SA Sports Show. I hope you can stay with us for the next hour. We have plenty coming up on the show. Lots to talk about too, as I welcome, as always, Barry Curtin, the show. Baz, how are you?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Well, that's funny, mate, because just before we came on air and we tried to make a bright, bubbly intro, you were talking to me about the umpires in the AFL, and I didn't sense you were fantastic about that.
I've got a bit of a problem with it, mate.
Yep.
Because I think four's too many now. I think they've gone... I don't think we've got good enough umpires to have four. I think every week now we are coming up with, whoa, hang on, what was that? And that shouldn't happen, mate. As a follower of AFL football or Australian rules football, if you like, all my life, very rarely would you come out and go, hey, hang on a minute, what was that free all about? There
have been a couple of game-deciding calls too.
Exactly.
Now, and I know you can say, well, if we've been up by more and we hadn't had turn, I understand that, but having coached too, I also know there's moments when a call's made that changes the game, and there have been a couple that have changed the game.
GWS Carlton 2 weeks ago. GWS I felt really sorry for because they fought like hell to get in front.
Yep. And
were playing well enough to win.
Yes.
Yet, with a couple of minutes to go, a dissent free kick was paid. Now, mate, I don't care. I've said this a million times. If you call the umpire names and you deserve to be penalised.
100%. If
you are a spur of the moment, heat of the moment, oh, come on, type of thing, mate, that's the game. Yeah. Surely the umpire cannot pay a free kick for that. If he did, he would be paying 50 a game for a bloke putting his arms out or going, like that. Because
so we don't want it to sound like we're umpire bashing.
I don't want to bash
and I get the point that players make mistakes, umpires make mistakes, but again, there's critical mistakes. And again, players make them, umpires make them, but when they send out the message afterwards that it was the right call because it was accumulated dissent,
disgraceful.
You go, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and have a look in the rules on this. So I couldn't find it anywhere in the rule book.
That's right.
Anywhere at all where it said there's accumulated dissent. You're either dissent or you're not dissent.
Yeah.
So my point on all of this, and it has been even from my playing days, coaching days, to watching now, as an umpire, I guarantee you if you blow it early, the players will adjust to that really quickly.
Stop doing it.
But if you let me yap, I'll keep yapping the whole game.
Yeah.
Because I think I can influence something there. Not me specifically, but players will do that.
I know that.
So I don't think you can go, I've had enough of it now, so I'm making the call. Yeah. Either make it early or don't make it.
Well, he's had enough of it. This umpire's had enough of it.
And I get that it's built up. I'm not arguing that it's built up to the umpire either, but why did you call it the first time?
Exactly. He's done this with 2 minutes to go and Carlton 3 points down.
Critical.
Or whatever. And paid 15 metres out straight in front. Yeah. Not critical, mate, to me. Dodgy.
Yeah.
No,
dodgy.
I'm not happy about it.
So you reckon they wanted Carlton to get the win?
Absolutely. Well, that sounds... I know that sounds poor, but wow, mate, when you sit back it
has a smell about it, doesn't it? And it's probably not even close, but
don't barrack for either side, and you sit back and you look at that and you go, oh, hang on a minute, you can't do that, surely. Yeah. But there's been a couple of other bad ones, really, really bad decisions paid, which brings me to my early point. That maybe we've got too many umpires out there. There's 4 of them. I don't think we were good with 3. Well, I don't think we were.
I agree with you.
That third umpire, maybe he's not as good as those first 2.
So the speed of the game's gone up, so they felt that they needed more umpires to cover the ground for stuff happening behind the ground. So I've kind of had this view of when we had the 2 umpires, I'm umpiring, I'm seeing the game the way the players are seeing it because I'm running with the flow of the ball.
Straight on game.
Once you put other umpires in, now they're seeing it at different angles. Yeah. And sometimes what looks a free on that angle isn't a free on this angle. So
which gets you one umpire blowing a whistle and the other one playing play on.
Yes, which adds to the confusion. So my question would be to the umpires, should you have the 2 umpires umpiring the game and the other 2 umpires looking for stuff that's going on behind play?
Yeah.
So they can call it at any time going, hey mate, you're punching him, you're grabbing him, you're scragging him. Yeah. That's a free down the ground.
Yeah.
But 4 umpires, and then Damien Hardwick's comment a couple of weeks ago when he coached his 300th game, I thought was a ripper. They asked him what had happened over his journey of 10, 11 seasons in coaching. Yeah. He said, when I started coaching, there were 15 pages to the rule book. He said, there's 127 now.
It's amazing.
So on average, that means we're putting in 12 new rules every year
Yeah.
for the last 10 years,
Yeah.
or close to that. You go,
you know.
how are the umpires supposed to keep up with that? So I have massive sympathy for them.
Yeah.
How are the players supposed to keep up with
that's
that? I
the
know
thing,
they
mate.
bring the umpires in at the start of the year and go, this is how we're going to adjudicate the new rule, but that's under interpretation. As an umpire, you might call it that way. As an umpire, I call it a different way. The players can't get a feel for it. And the fans can't get a feel for it. Everyone's confused at the moment. That's what it feels like.
Totally confused.
And the game's still going great, but it'd just be nice to let it settle for a while, wouldn't it?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the free kick paid against Dan Houston on the weekend for walking the ball through the goals with a player a metre away from him. Now, the rule is that if you are under pressure and whatever, you can walk the ball through.
Yep.
No problem at all. No drama at all. So he gets a free kick paid against him, and he's bewildered by the whole thing. He doesn't know what's going on. The AFL come out the very next day and say, no, that call was correct, and that's going to be paid in the future. Don't do that to us. Don't do that to us, because, no, it was an incorrect call. But that's what they should have done. That was an incorrect call, but if you deliberately do it, we're going to be on to you from now on. You can't just come out and... See, you know what happens, Phil? And this is where it's unfair. The umpires during the week think, now, listen, watch out for that Phil Smythe bloke. Because he dives a lot. You've got to watch out for him. He's a bit of a diver, so don't pay him any free kicks.
Yeah.
They're not telling the player or the coach or anyone else. This is just amongst themselves.
Yeah.
So they'll make up a rule. You can always tell what the umps are going to pay the whole weekend by watching the Friday night game.
Yeah.
Or the Thursday night game.
Yeah,
because you go, hang on,
what they've been
that's not
told
a
to
free
look
kick.
at.
Exactly. What's their little pet today? Well, there'll be 2 free kicks paid on the weekend. One was last week against the poor Crows bloke who got who Pal Pepper grabbed.
Yep.
Now, Pal Pepper was in the non-protective zone. It should have been a 50 metre to the Adelaide player. On the weekend, young Dylan Williams, second game for Port, took a mark. Umpire said it was touched. They all grabbed him, threw him on the ground. 25 metres out from Sydney goal, holding the ball. What? I mean, you look at that and you go, mate, you should not be umpiring. You know, that's common sense. That's a common sense rule.
We'll come back and have a chat of that later at the end of the show. A couple of things to talk about. We're off and racing. Craig Warman's going to come in and have a chat with the Southern Footy Leagues on this weekend. Luke Macchiaro is going to give us an overview of the SANFL. That is up and battling.
Yeah.
Our roving reporter Ando's been out and grabbed Phil Harrison, SANFL, for a chat, mate.
Yeah.
Lyndall Hudson and Holly Cheeseman-Smythe are coming in to talk about one of the great things that's happening down south with the Ranella Netball Club. It's just staggering. So plenty coming up on the show. Stick around. Back in a moment.